He bought the microphone on a Tuesday, told the whole table he was launching, and still hadn't uploaded a single episode. What his uncle said at a barbecue joint in East Austin changed everything. And it had nothing to do with better equipment. Well now, pull up a chair. Grandpa Ben here. I spend a few weeks every year down in Austin old trucking routes, good food, and friends who tell the truth over a plate of brisket. One of those friends is Ray Webb. Runs the grill at Miller's Smoke on East 7th, best brisket on that side of town. And Ray never lets you forget it. Ray's nephew Marcus had a dream. Sounded small on paper, huge in his chest. A local history podcast about the Austin folks don't put on postcards. I was at the table the night he told everybody. Ray called me 3 weeks later when March 1st came and went with nothing uploaded. I came down. So tonight, what I saw at that table, what Ray told me after, and what Marcus finally did about it. If you've ever talked a big game before you did the work, listen close. This one's gonna sting a little. In a good way, Marcus Webb grew up in East Austin. Not the shiny postcard part. The part with old bungalows, pit smoke in the air, neighbors who waved when you walked by. His mama worked front desk at a clinic. Uncle Ray ran the grill at Miller's Smoke. Brisket so tender you'd forgive the man for bragging every single Sunday. Marcus was the kid who read plaques on historical markers. While other boys talked Longhorns football, Marcus talked the flood of 1935, old dance halls, why Congress Avenue looked the way it did. After college at UT, he bounced. Campus job. Delivery shifts. A year answering phones for a real estate office he hated. But the dream stayed parked in his head, like a car that wouldn't start. A local history podcast, not national, not celebrity gossip, just Austin, the real Austin, one honest story at a time. Ghost signs. Forgotten musicians. Families who built the city while nobody was watching. He had notebooks full of episode ideas. He had a name picked out. Under the live oaks, he even had a tagline. Stories Texas forgot to brag about. Man, it sounded good in his head. Problem was, it sounded even better out loud. That Tuesday, Marcus ordered a microphone online. Paid extra for fast shipping. By Friday, the box sat in his truck unopened. One Friday night, Miller's Smoke was packed brisket, sweet tea. The whole place smelling like heaven and hickory. I was visiting Ray. We go back 40 years on the road. He saved me a seat at his nephew's table. Marcus was sitting with 3 buddies, Deshaun, who worked it downtown, Carmen from the bakery line, and Tommy, who always had an opinion and never had a filter. Marcus had 2 beers, which for him was basically a TED Talk waiting to happen. Then he sat up straight. I'm starting a podcast, he announced. Local history, real stories. Episode 1 drops March 1st. The table went quiet, half a second. Then everybody lit up. Bro, that's fire, Deshaun said. He sat up in his chair like the idea had physically lifted him. About time, Tommy said. You've been talking about this forever. Deshaun pointed at Marcus with his fork. No caps start with the old dance halls. People eat that stuff up. Carmen clapped her hands. I'll listen on my commute. Ray wiped his hands on his apron and grinned. Hell, I'll be your first guest. I've got stories these young folks ain't heard. The table cheered. Marcus felt 10 feet tall. The microphone he'd bought that Tuesday was still in the box in his truck. He hadn't recorded a minute of audio, hadn't booked a guest, hadn't even plugged it in. But sitting there, sauce on his fingers, room buzzing around him, he felt like he'd already made it. I looked at Ray. Ray looked at me. We'd both seen that look before. Pride without proof. That's the trap, y'all. Praise hits before progress does, and your brain can't tell the difference. The next morning, Marcus posted an announcement on Instagram. Clean graphic. Microphone icon. March 1st in bold letters. Under the Live Oaks Episode 1 coming soon. His phone did not stop. Texts rolled in: old friends, a cousin in Houston, even his old professor. Proud of you, Marcus, keep going. 47 messages from 31 people by Sunday night. 31 people believing in a show that did not exist yet. Marcus told himself the attention would push him. It didn't. It crushed him. Marcus finally opened that Tuesday box, plugged in the microphone, set up a folding table in his spare bedroom, foam panels, a fan, coffee going cold. I wasn't there for what happened next. Ray told me later. March 1st was 11 days away. He hit record. Welcome to Under the Live Oaks. I'm Marcus Webb, and tonight we stop. Delete, stiff as a resume. Not a story. He tried again, too much energy, sounded fake. Like performing for a crowd that wasn't in the room. 7 takes later, he pulled up Slick Podcasts and thought, if I put this out, folks are gonna think I'm a joke. So he didn't put anything out. He told himself he'd clean it up tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. March 1st came and went. He never posted a word about the delay. Too embarrassed. Every time his phone buzzed, his stomach tightened. Somebody would ask, "Hey, when's episode 1? He'd laugh it off. Soon, man, getting the sound right. But alone in that bedroom, he wasn't fixing sound. He was hiding from the version of himself that might fail in public. 3 weeks after the missed launch, Ray called me back in Ohio. Voice flat. Worried Ben, he still ain't hit upload. Drowning in texts he earned too early. Sits in that bedroom every night 7, 8 takes deletes every 1. I told Ray I'd come down. 2 days later, I found Marcus out back at Miller's Smoke, kicking gravel beside the smoker. Ray worked slow and steady, the way good barbecue demands. Marcus looked beat. Ray didn't ask what was wrong. He just said, "Brisket's resting. Talk to me." Marcus kicked at the gravel again. "I can't do it, Unc. Every take sounds terrible. People are waiting, I keep choking." Ray nodded like he'd heard that song before. "You know what radio taught me," he said. "What? Dead air will eat you alive. But a fake show will eat you faster." Marcus frowned. "What's that mean?" Ray shut the smoker lid. "You told the whole town before you built the thing. Now you're not recording for the story. You're recording for the crowd. That's performance, not building. When I first fired this pit, I didn't invite the city to taste test. I ruined a lot of meat in private. Grease fires, dry brisket. Meat so tough you could sole a boot with it." Marcus almost smiled. "But nobody saw that part," Ray said. "They saw the finished plate. You gave folks dessert before they tasted the meal. Your mind got full-on applause. And now real work feels heavy." I set my coffee down. "Your uncle's right, son," I said. "I watched you light up that Friday night. Whole table clapping for a show that wasn't born yet. No shame in dreaming big. But dreams need a private room before they need a crowd. Marcus stared at the smoke curling into the hill country sky. So what do I do? Ray handed him a foil-wrapped plate. Same thing I did. Go quiet. Build ugly. Build 10 episodes nobody hears. Then let one out the door and see who shows up. That night, Marcus changed the rules. No more updates. No more almost ready posts. No more counting likes like they were downloads. He wrote one line on a sticky note above his desk. Finish before you talk. Then he got to work. Episode 1, The Flood of 1935, took 4 bad drafts and 1 decent one. Episode 2, The Dance Hall on Manor Road, he mispronounced a street name and kept going instead of deleting. Episode 3, his uncle's first year on the grill, made him laugh out loud in an empty room. Some nights he was tired. Some nights he sounded flat. Some nights he thought, this ain't NPR. But nobody was watching. So he kept going. By June, 10 episodes sat on a hard drive. No fanfare, just work. Ray called me when Marcus finished the 10th. Ben, he said, the boy finally built something real. Marcus released episode 1 on a random Thursday. No launch party, no big day speech, just a link. Title: The Night the Colorado Took Main Street. Within 48 hours, 31 people listened. Not viral, not famous, but real. Deshaun texted. Why didn't you tell me this dropped? This is legit. Marcus smiled and typed back. Because I wanted it to exist first. Ray listened on his lunch break. Left a voicemail. 30 seconds, no fluff. Now that sounds like Austin. Marcus played it twice. Not for ego, for proof. 6 months later, Under the Live Oaks had a small, steady crowd: teachers, bartenders, old-timers, college kids who'd never heard half these stories. Marcus still worked day jobs, still messed up a take now and then, but he stopped announcing dreams like they were finished products. He built first, talked second. The next time I passed through Austin, Miller's Smoke was packed again. Tommy tried the same trick, told everybody he was fixing to open a food truck by summer. Marcus cut in, easy. Cool, what do you cook this week? Tommy blinked. Nothing yet. Marcus tapped his phone. Finish before you talk, brother, the table laughed. Ray raised his sweet tea toward me. Wise man. So remember this. Not every dream needs an audience at the start. Some need silence, 10 ugly drafts, a fan buzzing and coffee going cold. Praise before effort tricks your mind into thinking the race is already won. Talk less at the beginning, work more in the middle. Let your results introduce you. Well now, that's all for tonight. I'm Grandpa Ben. If this story hit home, subscribe to Grandpa Ben's Story Hour. Come back for the next tale. Until then, build quiet. And let your work speak loud.